Welcome back to the All Things Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Julian. I'm here with Small Town EP, my co-host, and Big Kev, the cameraman for the Miami Heat nowadays and all that. How you doing, y'all boys?
Who's
I'm
first, me
good.
or him?
I like how it took him back. It took him back. He ain't know he ain't know I was gonna come out with that one. EP, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm still packing, getting my shit together to get up out of South Florida. Loving the vibes right now, man. The life just feels new, feels great. Um, I got some real shit going on as well, but everybody got some real shit going on. So, but I'm great.
Everybody do.
I can't complain. If
Hell
you're here
yeah.
down,
Yo, shout out to
if you make it down here, it'd be a vibe right
I
before I
was,
left. That'd
I
be
was gonna
dope.
say, bro, like my boy EP is packing to leave, and I'm packing to go for a little bit. I'm about to pull up to Florida. I'll catch you before you head out. Uh, but before we talk about all that personal stuff, Kev, what's good, man? How you doing?
I just want to make it clear I'm not the cameraman for the Miami Heat.
Ah, shut up. Oh, shut up. All right, all right. Answer the question. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I have been blessed with an opportunity to take pictures at Heat practice and Heat training camp,
Yeah.
and the scrimmage game. But I'm good. So that's been like a lot of fun for me, just being there, getting some cool shots during the game, before the game.
Yeah.
So that's been a cool experience so far, and looking forward to doing more work with them and throughout the season. Shout out to Five Reasons Sports Network. Um, yeah, so that, and then got some more stuff that we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah, Kev got some news real quick, man. I wanted to shout out the chat, man. Shout out the chat going crazy right now. Shout out to Alicia, shout out to Martin, shout out to Jules, shout out to Ev, shout out to Jay Wally, and shout out to Deppner, my boy James Deppner. He said, "Yo, I'm in the Keys." So when
That's
everybody
fire.
when anybody's in the Keys, it's a vibe. For those who are wondering why I said Kev, cameraman of the Miami Heat, obviously it was a little jokey joke as far as the official cameraman of the Heat, but my boy did get an opportunity, as he kind of briefly brushed over, with Five Reasons Sports to shoot some content for them and get his bag right,
That's
man.
fire.
Shooting pictures and videos of the Miami Heat on their home court. So like that's just, as Heat fans, bro. Like as Heat fans, bro, that's surreal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and shout out to Ethan, by the way. Ethan, first of all, like this is just going to be a flowers segment real quick, since we're talking about Five Reasons. Like Five Reasons Sports is inspirational to me. I watched Ethan, you know, I should say I listened to Ethan on 790, and read his articles when he was, writing for Sun Sentinel, before the LeBron era, or during the LeBron era, before the LeBron era, and then after the LeBron era, and how he held it down for the Miami Heat. So once he started Five Reasons Sports and left radio and newspaper back where it should be, he's just excelled. He's has a face as far as respect level, in his community, amongst his peers. So he was able to build this platform to what it is now from ground up, with genuine interest from fans and supporters. So much respect to Ethan and all those boys at Five Reasons Sports. You got Brady Hawk, whose kid is like 18 years old, just writing articles all day and doing the most and in the best way. Shout out to Alex Tropical Blanket. Them boys putting in the work, and I've been watching them do what they got to do for the last few years. So just glad to see where he's taken that company. And I love to see that one of my friends has now tagged along and has been a part of that journey as well, and opportunity is there. So you know shout out to you as well, Kev. It's big work. It's
appreciate
not
it.
something that, yeah, it's not something that just fell in your lap. You know what I'm saying? It's not Ethan didn't just DM you and ask you if you wanted to pull up on him. Like, that's not how that works. Kev has been putting in work in, since he quit his day job last year. I remember this time last year we were sitting on your couch, bro, and you quit your job. So to
13,
watch you,
13 months today is 13 months actually. Looking at the date.
look how that works, bro. Look how that works, bro. I didn't even know the correlation between days. I just remember we was chilling you was chilling at your crib. You and Rachel left me at your crib for like 2 hours while y'all like did a video shoot or some shit. And I was just vibing. And it was like, that was one of the days you quit your job. So it's just a year has come and a year has gone, and things have been on the up and the up. Obviously, I found myself in New York City. You found yourself being able to support yourself full time, and EP has found a new place to live. Thankfully, right? So obviously, that's enough about us personally. This is the All Things Sports podcast. This ain't the Julian show. So with that being said, I do want to tap into the sports world. I do appreciate everybody that's tapped in with us so far, man. If you're on YouTube watching, appreciate you. If you're on IG tapped in, appreciate you. And if you're going to listen to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, man, the love is all the same. Guys, it's week 6 of the NFL season. The ALCS, the NLCS, they're coming to an end. Shout to James Deppner in the chat. That's my bro. He said he works with my boy Alex. So shout to Alex. He said y'all be blessed. We're gonna be blessed. And yeah, man, it's always a lot going on in the sports world when it comes to October, November, December. So I'll be saying that. Where do you guys see this NFL season headed? Is this an exciting season for you guys? Are you guys feeling it? Do you guys have any expectations for like the Super Bowl yet? What's going on? I just want to kind of vibe check, energy check.
Okay, what you thinking?
I'm just excited to go week by week and see what Zach Wilson becomes, because I've enjoyed the trajectory thus far. Um, you know, Once Rodgers went out, I think I said on here is like, I don't know what it's like, but it felt like we lost Super Bowl. So it's like already once Rodgers went out, it now becomes like, what is Zach Wilson? And I think he's shown growth, especially as the season has gone on. Still making mistakes, here and there, but a lot less than last year. And so for me, that's where I'm at as far as this season. Super Bowl, I think we talked a little before we went live, but I think Super Bowl still runs through Kansas City just as defending champions. And I mean, their offense doesn't look as high power as it has, but their defense looks maybe better than it has as with the championship teams that they've had. So I'm interested to see them and San Francisco. Obviously, the football they're playing has been the best in the league so far. So,
hell yeah.
I think
So,
I think I'm
couple
really
things.
okay.
My fault. No, I was just gonna say it's 16-8. At the 2-minute warning, Patrick Mahomes just took a sack. So, hey, this is a good game here.
No way.
So it's 4th down and they're punting. It's a little delayed, by the way. So if we cut each other off, I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think it's coming back up now. That's wild though. I switched over to the Braves game because I was like, yeah, man, and I kind of knew I should watch a divisional game because you know how I feel about divisional games. Like it's everyone said that the Commanders weren't going to beat the Eagles last year, and that happened. Like everyone's like shit happens. So like, but it was getting a little kind of mundane. It looked like over like the same thing over and over. So I switched over to the Braves.
Yeah.
Game.
So tap in with that Braves game. Let the people know where we at.
Oh, bottom of the 8th.
Beautiful Thursday night.
Phillies got one on, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, counts 0-1. Iglesias at the mound for Atlanta. This is best of 5 series. NLDS. Phillies lead 2-1. Phillies are trying to close this out tonight. June, both our teams that we said, and I said, I don't want to.
I mean,
postseason baseball.
Hey, I'll say this: the Rays way more disappointing than the Braves.
For sure.
Braves came out game 1 and it looked like, okay, this Braves team really is going to go to the World Series. And I don't think it's much so that they're playing so bad, but I think Philly's playing really good. Philly's pitching good.
That's fair. No, that's
they're
fair.
just dominating the game. I mean, Bryce Harper with 2 home runs. It's tough. It's tough.
What was it? 10-2 yesterday was the final score. Like the Braves haven't been able to.
Also,
yeah, 10-2.
The Braves just haven't been able to put up. Which I mean, you look at the Marlins. Either the Marlins or the Braves haven't really been able to put up runs against the pitching staff for Philly.
Yeah, I just think coming in the last night's game with Bryce Harper wearing a Coach Prime shirt, I was like, oh shit. And then
This
for him
time.
to hit 2 home runs in the game, stare down Ozzy Albies, like it's a lot going on. Obviously, this is divisional, right? This is NL East
NLDS.
I know.
baseball.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's NL East division, so it's just that much more competitive. EP spoke on it. This is teams that played each other about 17 times during the regular season, so you've kind of had it up to here with them. And then last year or last night, I should say, I was sitting outside. So before we started recording, I was sitting outside of the store over down the street. And by the way, EP KC just hit a 52-yard field goal to put it up
Wow. Yeah.
11. So don't trip.
Look at
That's a
that.
game. But I was sitting out front of the store eating my sandwich, and I said, "Yo, last night Philly fans were saying we want Strider, we want Strider." So Spencer Strider comes in today, and through 5, he pitched a shutout, or through maybe 4 2/3, 4 1/3, he pitched a shutout. And as I told EP about that, I turned around and I looked back at the screen, and Trey Turner hits a 2-run shot and takes the lead. And they haven't, they had the lead since. So it's just pretty
Mhm.
cool to see. It's just pretty cool to see. Like when, first of all, I was mentioning to Philadelphia to EP that Philadelphia fans are, pretty rude, and they're passionate about their team. So to see how they treated Trey Turner during the season after he was slumping, didn't play too well to end the season, and they gave him his standing ovation, that just gives the players confidence. Um, it's also something Ben Simmons never deserved, but it gave him enough confidence to come into this spot and in the NLDS game 3 or 4, or game 4 to hit a go-ahead home run, knowing that the city's behind him and his team's behind him. So big credit to Philadelphia, and yeah, they look like the better team right now. So
Defending NL champions. I mean, yeah, I was saying that earlier. They're just reminding everybody who they are, and what they do.
yeah. By the way, we live, y'all. I don't want y'all to think I'm just talking to nobody, but I'm talking to my gang. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody joining. Yo, back to the playoffs. The Rangers. Corey Seager was a great signing. Trevor Simeon came in and played really well. What's going on in the Rangers series? Talk to me.
I mean, I think whatever's going on with this Rangers team has been working for them since the playoffs started. Because I didn't have them going very far. I don't think anyone really did. And at this point,
Give me my
it
credit
just
though. Give me my credit though, because I have to say, I did think and I did believe that this Rangers team was gonna be good. The Jacob DeGrom signing was the only thing that I was just like, any team that signs or trades for Jacob DeGrom is like, you're not gonna have him for more than 40 games. Like you're gonna get a good 45 games out of Jacob DeGrom, and obviously not even 45 games. He's a pitcher, so in that span of 45 games, however much he can pitch throughout there. Um, and oh my God, just live update on the Chiefs game. I think it was an interception, pick six. Something happened where
oh
KC's
god,
defense just scored. So shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs defense. But anyways, shout out to my boy Sean in the chat. Shout out to my boy Tate in the chat, showing love. I appreciate y'all, man. Um, I
but
get
not back. Yeah, back to the Rangers. Those Rangers. I mean, they stayed in it and they battled back, and now they're playing their division rivals. The first, it's a 1-2. This is like a Final Four. I mean, it literally is a Final Four situation, but this literally feels like two divisional teams battled all season. Again, have played each other 17 times, and now you get to play each other another 7 times to decide who's really the best team in the conference. That's
exactly.
how much better can you write this? MLB script going crazy.
I love that the world understands that we're not supposed to support the Astros. Like if you're not from Houston or a natural born Astros fan, like it's fuck the Astros. And I'm totally cool with the whole baseball world feeling that way. Like this is what we need because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
deserve like so you saw how Kansas I don't know if you guys saw Kansas they got like their banner taken down and a bunch of wins from the 2017 season rescinded because they had a player that was not eligible playing on that team. And so, like, yeah, we should take it back. Look at what they did to Reggie
for
Bush,
sure.
right? That 2017 Astros World Series is the most fluky trophy that could ever have been presented to any team in pro sports, in my opinion. So yeah, I wish nothing but the worst for the Astros every year, ever since then. Carlos Correa hasn't been the same since he left the Astros and since that season. Um, Jose Altuve, he's still great. I'm not going to deny his greatness. Obviously, he dealt with some health injuries this year coming into the year with a broken forearm or wrist or so. Uh, Call it karma. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But by the way, I'm not playing PlayStation. I'm on YouTube trying to read comments. Caught me. No, but I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure. I don't want to talk about the Astros too much longer.
Yeah,
I'm not
fuck
sure
the
if EP or
Astros.
Kev have anything much more on the MLB playoffs right now, but I want to talk about the NFL.
I sorry, no, I just wanted to say real quick because I was laughing because you were talking about the Rangers. You said Trevor Simeon. I know I'm pretty sure you meant Marcus Simeon, but it was just because
Trevor Simeon just gave you PTSD.
Oh shit!
I had to think about it. I was like, when do we move to football?
Marcus Simeon. Facts. Thank you.
Oh man! Before we move to football, live update on the Braves game. Back-to-back hits, runners on first and third, no outs, top of the ninth.
That was close. That was a close play at third. I don't know why
Here
he
come,
slammed.
here come the Braves.
Why did he slam his hand down on third like he was playing dominoes instead of just sliding in?
I like when there's a lot going on, low key, and apologize for the listeners. This is also a live experience, so if you're getting to watch us, if you're listening on SoundCloud, just remember you could always click the YouTube link and watch our mannerisms. It might make the show a little bit more interesting, but we sometimes get all over the place in a good way because, like right now, we got Thursday night football, we've got playoff baseball, and we still got the show. So just keep up with us. We're not going to take it too far either which way, but we will, try to tap into what is it called? All things sports in the meantime. So I'm trying to get this Braves game up because I have to tap in and I don't want to see their season end. I think it's fair we move on to the NFL though.
Let's get it.
Week 6. I mean, we saw certain things from week 5 that sad, bro. Anthony Richardson, Colts quarterback, going to the IR. We saw Justin Jefferson going to the IR. We saw Devon Achane going to the IR. And when you hear those two letters, that's 4 weeks, right? That's the minimum. And
minimum
for a guy like Anthony Richardson, who has a what they want to call an AC joint level 3 sprain, that's kind of the worst AC sprain. It could have been a 2 to 3 week thing or 1 to 2 week, but it's looking like we have to see if he's gonna need surgery after things stops. After the swell goes down, I don't think he will. I'm not a medical guy at all. I'm not near him. I'm not watching him, so I can't tell you that. But I'm just going to be thankful that he is not out for the season, and I'm going to be hopeful that he can come back at one point in the season to finish the playoff run that he started. So with that being said, what stood out to you guys on Sunday? Kev, I know you guys had a good game versus Nathaniel Hackett versus Sean Payton in that week 5, I guess, battle of the press conference, if you will.
Hey, he made it personal. We were just there to play football. But yeah, we had. I mean, you look at the game, and Brees Hall finally off a pitch count had a big game. Dalvin Cook, unfortunately, does not look like Dalvin Cook of old. He looks like the old Dalvin Cook. So I expect Brees to start getting a lot more touches as the season goes on, especially now that he's not on the pitch count anymore. And I expect that to also help Zach Wilson in situations, open up the passing game and things like that. So I'm excited to see, the development of him, as I said before. a few things. Obviously, you want him to be better at, like the back shoulder throw to Garrett Wilson on that third down.
Yeah.
You want him to kind of put it more outside where Surtain can't get his hands on that ball. But it's little things. Defense came up big and made a play. So Quincy Williams has been playing out of his mind at linebacker. So he probably saw the money that his brother got and decided that he needs some type of check like that. So whatever it takes. And that was without DJ Reed too. So who's a big part of our defense. So excited to hopefully get him back this week. We're gonna need him against Philadelphia. So we'll see what happens. But I'm just glad we got out of there with a win. We usually don't go to Denver and play well, and that's two years in a row now that we've gone to Denver and played well. So things are changing direction for the better, and we'll see when Aaron gets back, if he gets back this year or next year. But
holding out hope for the Achilles torn 39-year-old quarterback is crazy. But
as long as he tells me that it's a possibility, I believe in it.
Hey,
and
I'll say this: it's a good thing that the Jets are fighting still. Like, I'm glad to see that the locker room isn't lost. They're still playing hard for their coach and for their guys around them. What's unfortunate is that in back-to-back years, Elijah Vera Tucker goes down with season-ending injury against the Broncos in Denver. That's kind of the concerning part, because at this, I get it. And I came up here multiple weeks and told you to your face. I said it to EP when it was just him and I, that the Jets season is over. Like, once week 1 happened, your season went out the window, and I'm going to stand on that. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that we can't see promising things from the Jets. It's not like we're not going to see a competitive team who can beat good teams. It's not like they can't. They have guys, and it's just when that one guy goes out and that one guy is him, it just changes the whole dynamic. It changes the attitude. It takes weeks to kind of recover mentally from it. And we've seen that. We've seen that with the Jets. And we're not talking about the Jets, coming in here and beating a great AFC opponent. They playing one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. So fair enough. You should have won, but they did. You know what I mean? And what we could have seen from this Jets team with Zach Wilson at quarterback is coming out to a team that you should beat just because it's a road game and shit in the bed, and we didn't. You saw a lot of fight and, like you said, improvement from Zach Wilson. I wanted to ask you, before we get off the Jets, you because I mentioned, and I'm read your body language when you were talking about how you're seeing improvement from Zach Wilson. What are Jets fans, or I'll just ask you specifically, what are you looking for when you talk about the week in, week out improvement of Zach Wilson? You understand, in my opinion, right, that this is not your quarterback of the future, and that he is someone who's placeholding right now. Being that Aaron Rodgers is as old as he is, coming off of an injury like the Achilles, are you guys holding out hope that Zach Wilson can continue to learn and grow and mature for the future for your franchise?
That's what it looks like the team is looking for, is for him to sit behind Rodgers and learn from Rodgers and grow from Rodgers. And I think we've seen a drastic improvement from just where he was last offseason to him being with Rodgers this year and being in an offense and now you see Hackett giving him a little bit more leash to throw the ball. And I think him being able to get in rhythm early in games, like he did against Kansas City, is what contributes. And yeah, they got down big early, but that wasn't because Zach Wilson was turning the ball over. They just had 2 possessions defensively where they couldn't stop Kansas City. And then, but yeah, I don't think you can say definitively that he's not going to be a good quarterback, especially if he can take this year and continue to improve and then take another year behind Rodgers next year. The biggest thing to me, I'll say, though, is not even what he's done on the field. It's what happened after the Chiefs game. So last year, everybody remembers, and I don't think he's getting enough credit for this, because last year, we all remember the New England game,
versus New England. Yep.
worst game of his career, probably the worst game I've ever seen from a quarterback. And immediately after the game, they talk about it and they ask him, "Do you think you owe the defense an apology?" And he said no. And that's probably the worst answer I've ever heard a quarterback give in a post-game conference.
Yeah.
So this year, you lose to Kansas City, and he probably, considering the circumstances and considering the spotlight and who it's against, he probably had one of, if not the best game of his career. And obviously, fucked up, dropped the snap, fumbled, led to Kansas City. Just didn't have a chance after that. And immediately after the game, he said that loss is on me. I lost us the game. And to me, that's been the biggest thing, is not just on the field, his play, but off the field, his growth in just those situations.
I feel like a therapist, and Kev is the boyfriend that be mad at his girl that don't take accountability. And he's like, she finally came around. No, I get it. I get it. And he's not exaggerating. As bad as it sounded, is as bad as it was, if not worse, last year in that Patriots game. And then to take the stand and lose your locker room the way you did, it shows. I think this year is showing a lot of who Zach Wilson is as a person and as a kid, because you would think that would lose a locker room for good. That's something that you should never. It's like cardinal sin as a quarterback. And as far as like being a leader amongst a locker room, he came in this year with zero expectations. Everybody was happy as hell that he was QB2. You know what I mean? Like, Zach, you're my guy. Yeah. Aaron, what's up? And he's been forced into this role where he's now QB1 again, and he's got to put up or shut up. And as bad as he's played in the few games he has and the little bright spots he's shown, the character about him has changed. And you can tell that the guys around him still have respect for him. So I could appreciate that about Zach Wilson. I'm not here to shit on Zach Wilson or anybody for that matter. I truly think he's not a good quarterback. And I'll tell you that I think it's unfair Josh Rosen didn't get this many chances. But it doesn't matter.
That's someone whose attitude probably never changed.
Yeah, that's probably what that was. By the way, I'm in that 7,000. Shout out to my boy Dubai Sosa, my boy Arab. He making these shirts, man. 7,000. I got a couple more 7,000 brand shirts. Shout out to him. 7,000 official. Go follow that on the gram. Cop up. I'm bringing this shit to Florida so everybody can see it. This is made out of Harlem, New York City, the flyest city in the world. And I gotta say, E, I ain't just saying that because my boys is from Harlem. I be in Harlem. It's fly. It's fly. I'm gonna give them that. So shout out to Harlem. Shout out to everybody from Harlem. Shout out to Cardi. Shout out to Yuri G's in the chat showing love. Guys, we saw a struggling Buffalo Bills offense last week versus, I don't want to say an up and down Jaguars team. This is an up and coming team for sure, who still struggles and hasn't found their way 100%. But that Jacksonville team is a competitive team, right? That's a very good defense and a sustainable offense that continues to get better. Buffalo took the L in London, and there were comments about Stephon Diggs' character again. There was a meme with him throwing the iPad on the sideline. By the way, this was supposed to be a joke. Shout out to Big Face Coffee. I was going to wear this on some funny shit, and I never made the joke. But I'm going to keep it on because we're already here. But Josh Allen basically came to his defense and was like, yo, Stephon Diggs is cool, bro. Like, there's no character issues. He's not just walking around like a fucking, I hate everybody, screw my quarterback. It's not how it works. So Josh Allen came out and cleared that air to the media, and Stephon Diggs, they say he was thankful for that. So shout out to a quarterback, like we just talked about, Zach Wilson and the character he has and taking accountability. Josh Allen is talked about as a top 3, if not the best quarterback in the league. I heard Dan Orlovsky last week say Josh Allen is the best quarterback in football. He would be the MVP if you know, shit finished right now, which I don't agree with, but he has that power to talk. And when you do, I think it's imperative that you let notions and narratives go to bed if you can control something like that. Obviously, the little naysay bullshit about, you know, are you guys good enough? You're not going to talk to the media back and forth, but when they're coming for your guys and they're coming for your locker room, you know, it's best you put your foot down for them. So shout out to Josh Allen for that, and you know, being in a tough spot because that's a game they didn't want to lose. You know that, like Jacksonville and London, you don't want to lose that game, even though it's a home game for Jacksonville. You don't want to lose that game. So to be able to, you know, come back and put that behind you and still stick up for your guys, it shows maturity and it shows leadership. Um, what I want to know from Kev real quick is not literally, because I don't expect you to have this answer, even if you prepared for this answer. But what's going on with the Carolina Panthers?
With the Carolina Panthers. As far as like,
Oh, I mean, 0-5. They're saying fire the coach. Bryce Young's the first pick of the draft. He doesn't look like, you know, a top 10 quarterback. And again, I don't expect you to have this answer literally. I just have to ask somebody because I don't know the answer. What's going on with the Carolina Panthers?
well, the first thing, just because we're coming off of it, stop doing games in London. It's stupid. Um, and also, why have Jacksonville there for 2 weeks and them get a, I don't, whatever, we're off that. But stupid. Stop doing it.
You should be happy. They beat the Bills.
I know, but it's just it's never good football. Like you don't wake up at 9:30 in the morning to watch bad football, and that's what happens every time. It's
I
terrible.
do.
I know,
No,
no,
no, no. Hey,
we
Kev,
all do, but you
Kev,
shouldn't.
Kev, it's listen. So E is not gonna let you get this shit off because E has been the motherfucker at 9:30 in the morning going to Seminole Classic, having some brew and fucking playing
I
some
actually
blackjack.
don't even drink. I have coffee and tea. It's too early.
Look, I'm all for. I love the fact that there is a 9:30 game because it gives me a reason to wake up early and watch football. But I don't want to watch bad football if I'm waking up early,
No, that's
and that's
true.
what
I get
happens
that.
every time.
So
It's
I'm not
never a
even
good game.
stuck up. I'm not even so much more stuck up on good or bad football in London or football in America. I have to go see this for myself and verify that EP is drinking coffee or tea at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday and not some sort of alcoholic beverage. I'm having a hard time.
There's no
I'm having a
international
hard time.
series here. I mean the international game this weekend.
He's changing.
There
He's
is.
changing the subject. Yeah, Baltimore plays Tennessee.
Oh,
Yeah,
there is. If you make it, bro, I'm there. Don't worry.
I won't
Bloody
make it.
Marys.
I'll have eyes on you though.
But as far as the Panthers, yeah, it beats me. I mean, it seems like seems like a shitty situation to be in though, being that bad and not having your first round pick next year. And
Beats me. Got it.
That's some shit you really say when you don't know something.
I
Like,
mean,
oh,
I know that they're having a lot of offensive struggles. You know, Bryce Young isn't having too much time to sit in the pocket. Play calling has been abysmal, and Frank Reich is now talking to the media in regards to the owner being like more of a hands-on owner. And once the coach is in the media press conferences talking about the owner and how much he's involved with the team, and they're sitting at 0-5, it looks like the coach ain't even going to be there much longer. And I was telling EP this earlier. This is the same coach who I have much respect for as a man. Frank Reich is a great man. He is, you know, a man of faith. He's a man of integrity, and he does things the right way. Um, he's just not a great head coach, and we fired him. Indianapolis fired him last year and took a lot of flack because they hired Jeff Saturday for the remainder of the year. People thought Jeff Saturday was going to get the 8-year fucking Texas A&M Jimbo Fisher deal or something. Like, no, this is a guy that we need to
Jimbo
turn this
special.
locker room around. Like, nobody here, that there's bad culture going on. We got guys in this locker room that are betting on our own team to win money for themselves personally when he makes, you know, X amount of dollars from us. Like it was bad. So we just had to get rid of Frank Reich. We got the guy who filled in. And then we waited for the Super Bowl to end and got the coach that put up 500 yards in a losing effort in the Super Bowl. And drastically, Indianapolis has seen a change in culture. You've seen a change in the locker room. You've seen more focus. The play calling is more explosive. Like there's just so much more things that we can look forward to without Frank Reich being our head coach. And it's honestly Carolina's problem at this point. I'm hearing that he wanted CJ Stroud in the draft, but ownership wanted Bryce Young. And excuse me. And I mean, he's a little snobby about it.
I don't know if you saw the video that recently came. I think it came out back during the draft process, but they've been recently posting it now that CJ Stroud looks as good as he does and Carolina looks as bad as they do. But it's a video of Josh McCown saying about we'll find a court somewhere when you live in Carolina, basically hinting to CJ Stroud that they were going to take him number one. So it seems like the staff, I wouldn't think McCown would say that unless he, I don't know. I don't think he would tell CJ Stroud that unless he was Carolina was planning on taking number one. And then maybe, like you said, they had ownership had different idea, but I thought that was interesting.
I actually saw that video like before the draft because Colts being at number 4, I was just in on every quarterback. Like first, I wanted CJ Stroud. I'm not gonna lie. Like CJ Stroud was the quarterback that I wanted the Colts to take. I would have been cool with Anthony Richardson, but I wanted CJ Stroud. And when I saw Bryce Young go and CJ Stroud go, I was like, it's got to be Anthony Richardson. So like, but I would watch all these videos and I'm like, yo, Carolina really seems like they want Stroud, right? Like Josh McCown, that's a Frank Reich hire. So when I saw that, I did have inklings that it was going to be like, all right, they definitely want him. They then went up and got the first pick of the draft. So it felt like, okay, I mean, they definitely want to take him at number 1. Like, apparently not. And ever since, man, it's been sad out there in Carolina. They signed Adam Thielen over this offseason. They signed Miles Sanders. They got Deuce. I think they got Deuce Staley as like their assistant head coach. It's just a bunch of nothing. So they asked Frank Reich, how can they, kind of rectify this and make things better? He's like, we can just by simplifying and not doing as much. So I don't know what that means, but we're going to find out on Sunday when the Carolina Panthers go to sunny South Florida and have to play against Mike
Dolphins.
Elite offense, that is. So
didn't the Dolphins fire him at one point too?
Who's that? Frank Reich?
Yeah.
Nah. He wasn't in Miami.
Yeah, he might not leave Miami this weekend. I'll tell you
that. Hey, they come out and upset. Somebody's gonna upset Miami one of these weeks because Miami's supposed to beat all these teams. It's not. You're right.
Okay. Miami might put up another 70.
EP, talk to me real quick, bro. Can you go through the schedule? I mean, let's talk about some of the games that we got this Sunday. I already mentioned the London game at 9:30 a.m. is going to be Jacksonville. I'm so used to Jacksonville playing in London. The London game is going to be Tennessee versus the Ravens. And as a Colts fan, I need Lamar Jackson to keep getting busy. I'll say keep getting busy because last week Lamar Jackson had an elite showing. And there were 8 drop passes in that game, 4 of which were dropped touchdowns. This is a team who drafted a wide receiver last year and signed Odell Beckham and had J.K. Dobbins, who obviously got hurt earlier this season. They understood Lamar needed the weapons and they didn't want to neglect. They went and attacked at it. And I mean, this Ravens team is far from bad. This is not a bad team, but you have to imagine losses to who was last week? Pittsburgh. Divisional rival, and losses to the Colts, AFC rival, AFC opponent. that's troublesome. Now they've really got to put in work in this division. I don't know that they can lose 2 more games in the division um, and feel safe.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
rough.
looking forward to Lamar Jackson coming back out. Tennessee is not a good team. They don't do anything exceptional. Tannehill is below average quarterback in my opinion. Derrick Henry has, um, I mean, he's still as big as he is, and he's still as fast as he is. So it's hard to get him down. But everybody knows running the ball is a collective thing, and I don't see the Titans as that dominant force as I hate to say this, we knew their offensive line to be a dominant force, and that's what helped Derrick Henry have some Pro Bowl years and MVP type seasons. But they don't have that anymore, and the push up front isn't going forward; it's going backward. So we're seeing that in the regression, if you will, of Derrick Henry due to circumstance. So yeah, look for Roquan Smith to meet him in the A gap.
Yeah, I don't. Me and you feel the same way about Tennessee. I don't have much to say about this game. I do hope Lamar comes out with the dub. I think that Baltimore traveled earlier this week to London. And there's reports saying that the Titans left this morning and will be there tomorrow or this afternoon. Will be there tomorrow morning. So that's obviously
What?
going to be a factor. Yeah, I don't know why they would.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
leave on Thursday. You like to be at the crib for the week, getting ready. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't own a team or anything like that. um, so I mean, it's it's a London game. It's probably gonna be another boring game. It'll be the Ravens, another probably low scoring game. Um, and the Ravens will probably win because the Titans are fraud. The Titans will probably hold the lead for the majority of the game as well.
Oh, Kev was yawning. I thought he was sneezing. I thought he was going to
It
say
Oh,
was a
that was
something.
on
sneeze.
cue.
It was a sneeze.
Oh,
Yeah.
bless you, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you feel about this game, Kev?
It's in London, so I hate it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Tannehill is I don't know. He was always like he's such a weird quarterback. He's terrible this year though. He's like 30th in QBR, um, which makes him last, I guess. But
Third to last.
third to last. Okay. Um, yeah, he's just it hasn't been a good year for him. 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Uh, yeah, just not good. And they got him Hopkins for I don't know what reason.
I'll
So
say this though,
Chiefs about to go get that boy.
Hopkins cheesed up that Colts defense last week over 135 yards or so,
Did.
but in a losing effort. So what does it matter?
Oh, and by
EP,
the
what
way,
else?
the Ravens actually flew over Monday after right after the loss, so they've been there a week already, and the Titans will just arrive in a couple of hours.
that is some good gambling information right there.
You know
Baltimore
where you
line
need
is
that
minus
gambling
four.
information? You go to EP.
Baltimore is minus four at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
What else we got on that schedule? E.
Woo. I mean, I like actually. There's a matchup I want to talk about because it's a battle of the 1 and 4s, and I want to
Mm.
know what you guys think of the Vikings at the Bears after the Bears put up what was it 40 points last week, and everybody said that they were going to lose that game. There's no way that they win that game, and then they came out after Mr. Buck gets past RP and won it for the boy. How y'all guys feel about this battle of the 1 and 4s?
I like Minnesota. Um, Fields has been playing better the last couple of weeks. Um, since actually, I think since the new offensive coordinator took over, right? He's
Yeah,
been playing much better football. So,
exception.
um, yeah, I mean, it'll be if he could do it again this week, then I think he'll have people starting to believe. Um, but I think it's, I think if you're the Bears, you almost hope that like Fields looks as good as he does, like as good as possible while also losing. Because if you can reset your franchise with Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, you're set. for like at least the next 10 years with those two guys. So and then if Fields does look good, you could also still move him for very good value. So I know if I was a Chicago fan, that would probably be what I'm hoping for. You're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. And I think, like I said, setting up with those two, since you do have Carolina's picking, like we said, Carolina's a mess right now. I mean, you could set yourself up very nicely there.
Yeah. I think the Bears shocked us on Thursday night last week and putting up 40 points on the Commanders. And Justin Fields, going off 3 touchdowns. Minnesota has been very underwhelming, very disappointing. They haven't played up to their standard, but I don't think that just continues week in and week out. I think they're going to be more competitive of a team. I think things, after that first win, start to click a little more. Sorry. Uh, with that being said, I did mention that Jetta's Justin Jefferson is on the IR now. I think that gives a little bit of confidence to that Chicago Bears defense, where they don't have to just be like, you know, you know, we don't have to zero in on that one guy back here. We can really kind of just play our game and let our game plan dictate how the flow of the game goes. And we just mentioned it. I mean, Justin Fields is has been playing really good. You got to give him credit. I
Mm-hmm.
talked about him when he played bad. I got to talk about him when he does good. And I'm rooting for Justin Fields. I've been a Justin Fields fan. I'm an Ohio State uh, uh, supporter when they get in the playoff. I'm a Hurricanes fan, and you know how we feel about Ohio State. I don't feel that sentiment. I think that the refs, the refs has fucked over the Miami Hurricanes more than Ohio State ever has. I.e., look at last week versus Georgia Tech. But anyways, uh, yeah, I CJ Stroud, for example, I like guys that come out of there. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, JT Barrett, Troy Smith. Like, these are guys that I enjoyed watching, Terrell Pryor. So I'll support, but out of all those names I mentioned, where's the Pro Bowler? You know what I mean? And that's the problem. And that's why a team like Carolina, with the first pick of the draft, was probably hesitant to draft CJ Stroud, because you know how Ohio State quarterbacks have a bad rep when it comes to NFL turnover. So, um, Justin Fields, I'm rooting for you. I think you can come out this Sunday, but I think really just Justin Jefferson not being healthy is
Mm-hmm.
what gives the Bears the advantage there.
No, I definitely agree. As far as the Bears having a slight edge, I mean, they're gonna need a third straight game of just nonsense between Justin Fields and DJ Moore, because I mean that's essentially what's working right now. With Moore averaging like 8 catches in the last 2 games and like 180 yards, that's ridiculous. But all 4 of Minnesota's losses have come by one score, and like you were saying, June, they've been a little underwhelming, and that trend. I don't see that trend continuing for much longer. That and the fact that they blitz at the highest rate in the league, 56.2 times a game on dropbacks, on 56.2 times of dropbacks, they're blitzing highest in the league. We see what happens when Justin Fields, is feeling the heat, in the pocket. So I do think the Vikings come out with this one. I do. I do. I don't know if they. I think the spread is like -4 Minnesota. I don't like taking points on divisional games personally, but -3 Minnesota. Nah, if you're gonna take the money line, take the 3 points with Minnesota. Fuck it. If you came to gamble.
You like -3 Minnesota? Oof, that's tough. Okay. What's that schedule looking like? What else we got?
Woo. We're looking. I just saw the next game actually, and I was very. I don't
If
even
we're
want to talk
looking
about
at
the
the
Seahawks and
same,
the Bengals.
that's the one I was gonna say. It's an
Talk
interesting
about it,
game.
Kev. What do you see there?
It's an interesting game. I think
Sorry,
Seattle's,
you said Seahawks Bengals.
yeah, Seattle at Cincinnati.
Okay.
Um, yeah, no, I think that's an interesting game as far as like Seattle goes. They've been pretty good offensively, minus the first game of the season against LA. So if they put up points, now it comes down to can Cincinnati put up points like they did last week against Arizona, because other than last week against Arizona, we haven't seen them be able to put up points. So maybe Burrow's a little bit healthier. I think this will be a game that, we see what both teams are really about. If Seattle's actually a force in that NFC wild card situation, because they're not winning the West because nobody but the 49ers are. And is Cincinnati going to be able to bounce back like they did last year? A slow start last year, able to bounce back, finish strong. So it's going to be interesting to see, I think, that game, how that plays out.
Nice. I want to talk about one or two more games before we get out of here, if I can. I think Dallas Cowboys at Los Angeles Chargers is very interesting, because Dallas is in a position right now where they have to prove themselves. There was a lot of, first of all, shout out to George Kittle for fucking putting a shirt under his jersey that says "fuck Dallas," knowing and understanding, the rich history in which 49ers football and Cowboys football share. Like, that is a rival from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s that has always been something, and nowadays we hadn't seen too much of it, but he just really brought back that TO spiking the ball middle of the field energy with that right there. And what I respect most about George Kittle for doing that, he scored 3 touchdowns in that game, and he didn't celebrate with "fuck Dallas" on that first touchdown or the second touchdown. He waited until he scored his 3rd touchdown and was like, you know what?
By the way,
that's gangster. That's gangster. And as a competitor, like, all right, so you remember the Last Dance? Documentary when Jordan was in the locker room with the cigar in his hand and the baseball bat? He was like, "It's easy to talk when you up. It's easy to talk when you up. It takes a real man to talk when he's down." Not to say they were down, but he could have easily did that first touchdown he got. Like, yeah, I'm in the end zones. Fuck Dallas. Nah. We're gonna let it simmer. He really let the bacon brew. And it was 40-something points put up on Dallas when they was like, you know what? Y'all sorry as fuck. So coming out of that game, I love to see Micah Parsons go to his podcast and go, Kittle's my guy, but he want to take it. He want to make it personal, and he want to take it there. All I'm not gonna say too much, but all I'm gonna say is that next time we see y'all, it's gonna be personal, and we're gonna be better. And it's just like, as much as I respect that as a competitor, I would hope you say that, and I hope that next time it's better. But where was that energy, and why wasn't it personal from kickoff at the beginning of the game? So my thing is, real quick, Kev, because I'm gonna let you get your shit off. But like, as far as the Cowboys, ain't nobody trying to hear none of that shit. Ain't nobody trying to hear nothing, because you guys come into every single season super hyped up. The offense looks great. Dak Prescott literally reverted to training camp last week. And I get that. He played a great defense. But I read the stats on Monday, EP, and it was 9 of 17 for 77 yards on dropbacks where he was not pressured, 2 interceptions. So when Dallas figures out what they're going to do with their quarterback, and I'm not saying it's get rid of Dak, but it's how do we make Dak play like at his best ability? What changed from his rookie year where he went CJ Stroud, 160 completions or 160 attempts, no interceptions, to 10 in training camp to start the year, and now 3 uncalled for turnovers versus in what looks like a NFC Championship matchup? You know what I mean? Kev, go ahead, because I'm going to just keep going.
I was just going to say, that always reminds me, like, if they were to meet again in the playoffs, because I think it was Debo that said it might be worse next time. Somebody said, so it just takes me back to when 2010, I think it was, the Patriots Jets on Monday Night Football, I believe, and the Patriots beat the Jets like 45-3, and it was like the Patriots were like talking shit all after the game, and the Jets. The difference is Michael Parsons went on his podcast. Back then, there was no podcast for these players. So
this is Bart Scott. This is Bart Scott.
well, after this is Bart Scott after this game, but yes, then the Jets end up playing the Patriots again. Go to Gillette and just run all over them and shut Brady down. So that's what that like reminded me of, that little back and forth. And I would just say the team that usually comes out after the game and talks, when they do come back, like Parsons said, you got a little bit of extra like in you to give it to them, especially if you do meet them in the playoffs on their home field.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's like top tier feeling, is being on the road in the playoffs and making the crowd quiet. So
I mean, Kev, as Heat fans, bro, how did it feel to beat Boston this year?
yeah, facts.
You know, and
There it
there
is.
was no make it personal shit talk back and forth. It wasn't nothing like that. At the end of the day, it's about getting your lick back, right? It's about next time we see y'all, if y'all beat us again, that's embarrassing, right? It's just that much more embarrassing. It's like if you get into a fight with a guy on the street or at school and you're like, fuck that, I'm trying to run that shit back. And Monday comes and you get your ass whooped again, you got to transfer schools, bro. Like it's clap. So shout out to Matt, Sneaker Lovers
Oh
Matt, by the way,
no.
in the chat real quick. First and foremost, appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you tapping in with the chat. But before anybody moves a muscle, I want y'all to know, y'all go check out Sneaker Lovers store. Go on Instagram, Sneaker Lovers. Man, if you ain't never heard of Sneaker Lovers, you're probably out of the loop. But if you're in South Florida, tap in with Sneaker Lovers. On IG, go see the physical store. They got a bunch of kicks, and Matt has been doing his thing for years now. So shout out to him. What he said was Dak Prescott needs to learn how to use CD Lamb better. And to the naked eye, I would disagree in the sense that I feel like CD Lamb is touching the ball all the time, or making plays and scoring. But to his point, he can he's probably seeing something like Dak Prescott forces the ball, right? And and of course CD's going to get the ball when Dak Prescott is throwing the ball to him as many times as he does. But is it efficient, right? So clarity would help in the comments as far as what you're seeing that I might be missing, because I feel like CD Lamb is a high volume guy, but at the same time, Dak Prescott is a high volume turnover guy as well. So I can agree with what he's saying to an extent.
Yo, June, I got a question for you
What's up?
because I do want to talk about your Indianapolis Colts traveling down to Everbank Stadium in
Yes,
Jacksonville this
and
weekend.
before we do that, let's actually talk about, not actually, but I just wanted to mention this Chargers team is not a pushover. This team is a team that, one, is ridiculed. The coach is probably on the hot seat if they keep losing games that they should win. The Cowboys game isn't a game that they should win, but it's a game that they certainly should compete, in. It's a playoff team. This is a two good teams playing each other, right? And so your quarterback is getting paid way too much money to come out here and take these L's. Your coach has been under way too much scrutiny. So what are we going to do right now? And I feel like both of these teams are in similar situations where a loss it's not looking too good coming off a loss after week 6 right here, based on the opponent they're playing. So I'm just very interested to see the outcome of this game, because I mean, if Dallas comes out and loses this game, we have to really have the conversation of, I mean, they're a playoff team. I still think they're a playoff team because the NFC isn't the strongest, but that's a first round exit right there. So
I mean, it could happen. It could happen. Our boy Sunshine has won his last two Monday night starts. He's 6-6 in prime time. So he tends to go off when he needs to go off in those big moments. So it could happen.
And it's coming off a bye week.
Kev, can we settle this debate? Sunshine is Trevor Lawrence, not Justin Herbert.
Yeah. And Justin Herbert also loses just for the fact that he cut his hair once. Even though he let it grow back, he cut it off. So he can't be Sunshine no more.
You can't. Like Trevor Lawrence has a meme on IG with a little cheerleader chick that looks just like him. Y'all seen it? That's Sunshine right there, man.
Yeah, no, Trevor Lawrence is Sunshine for sure.
Cool. So yeah, man, we're going to TIAA Bank, man. We trying to beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville for the first time since 2014. Yes, I heard what you were saying right there.
Isn't it did the name of the stadium change? I don't know.
Evergreen, Everbank, something like
Everbank,
that.
Evergreen.
Everbank.
Some marketing shit.
These stadiums always change their names now. It's ridiculous.
Oh, don't worry. It's still Arrowhead, and it's not Arrowhead, but it is still Arrowhead.
It's like definitely at Arrowhead, right?
And it's definitely not Burrowhead. Yeah, it's like something. It's like CEH. Not that's probably not it because I'm just trying to put Arrowhead and shit
It's
together.
whatever it is at Arrowhead Stadium. They should have left it like for the Miami Heat. Like it should be like Cassius Center at AAA.
It's GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
Our listeners are probably like, bro, what are y'all talking about?
Stadium names.
Hey, but will Minshew and JT be able to get a run game going against this number 5 ranked defense?
Hey, I'll say this, brother. We don't need Minshew and we don't need Jonathan Taylor to start this run party because we got a front 5 and Zach Moss. Give me Zach Moss, the number 4 rusher in the league as it stands right now. I think he might be 4th in the league in rushing right now. Man, did you see what he did last week against that Tennessee Titan fraud defense and how he was able to put up over 150 yards on the ground, FedEx rushing, express delivery to the end zone, crib and shit? Listen, week 1, we got to play them, and he missed this game.
Number 3 ranked, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
He had a number 3 ranked. Appreciate you interrupting me. He had a forearm, a fracture, right? Missed the game. Deion Jackson's a starter in week 1. In Anthony Richardson's first career game in the NFL against a good defense. And hey, it was a lot. But we cut Deion Jackson because he didn't live up to the standard of Colts football. And you know Colts football is run the damn ball. So Zach Moss comes in week 2, week 3, week 4. We signed Jonathan Taylor, re-sign him week 5, and Zach Moss is still the star of the show. So if you're asking me, no, we don't need Gardner Minshew, and we don't need Jonathan Taylor to start this run game. Jonathan Taylor should get 10 to 12 to 15 more plays and snaps than he saw last week. However, no. I'm a rock with my boy Zach Moss until the wheels fall off. Shout out to him, and that keeps Jonathan Taylor fresh leg. Shout out to my boy Matt. I gotta go back up in the comments because he clarified what he meant with the Dak Prescott. He said, "Oh no," when Julian started talking about them Colts, he said them boys need a Manning again. We got Richardson, bro. We finally got a black quarterback in our franchise. We not going back. All right. Kev, how you see Indianapolis, Jacksonville in Jacksonville? Indy hasn't beaten Jacksonville in Jacksonville for over 7 years or so, whatever the case is. What's going on, bro?
I gotta go with Sunshine in this game.
Sunshine.
Yeah, you know,
being was the answer.
You're wrong.
This could be the Minshew revenge game though, because he was a Jaguar initially,
yes,
so it could be a look at what you gave up type thing, you know, even though it's Gardner Minshew, and I don't think Jacksonville's feeling that way with Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, I just think so. The funniest thing about Zach Moss going off last week is, and this is, I'll keep it quick because this doesn't really have much to do with like what we're talking about. But so one of my fantasy leagues with all my good friends, one of my friends, worst team in the league, hasn't won a game, got Jonathan Taylor back last week and put him in his starting lineup. And the team he was playing against had Zach Moss. And so that was just hilarious because he can't catch a break this year. So, but yeah, I mean, it's impressive that Zach Moss literally did steal the show, like you said. Like it was supposed to be the return of Jonathan Taylor, and at the end of the game, I'm sure Colts fans were like, "Oh, he was back. I forgot."
Listen, Matt said JT fantasy owners was sick when they seen Moss go off. I'll tell you what, Colts fans was happy as hell. And I mean, let's be honest, this guy Jonathan Taylor had to get healthy and rehab this offseason and didn't play until week 5. What kind of workload are we expecting him to get? 30 carries, 50, 25 carries, you know what I mean? Like, especially when we have a guy running like Zach Moss. So shout out to your homeboy, but that's just bad business right there. I don't know who his starting running back is because I would have had more faith in him than Jonathan Taylor in his first game back.
We started him in the flex position.
Flex?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he? I would love to know who else he could have put, but that's neither here nor there.
His team's 0-5, so it's probably not many options.
Fair enough. Who did the Jets play this week?
Philly.
Oh, okay. So we're not talking about that. Let's talk about one more game before we
take the Jets and the points.
I got a game because you said we were going to talk about this last week. I got a game. What's going on in New England?
Yes, I'm so glad we're touching on this.
Yeah, is the the Bill Belichick era just slowly winding down? Do they really just don't have the talent anymore? Like, was the Belichick way a fraud? And it was really just the Brady way, the Brady era. Because they're they're going to Las Vegas, and we saw what happened last year in Las Vegas. Fucking wild, one of the wildest endings ever in the history, I feel like, of sports. That shit was ridiculous.
Was that old Chandler Jones?
It sure was.
And stiff arming Mac Jones to the ground on his way to the touchdown.
Hey, and before you keep going, Jacoby Myers, ever since he's left New England, boy, he's been balling in Vegas now. This shit is crazy.
Oh man. Well, what are you guys seeing this weekend? Do the Patriots get their second win of the season, or does Vegas continue their fight for the AFC West?
Man, Mac Jones is the worst quarterback in the AFC East. The Jets no longer have the worst quarterback in the AFC East. The Patriots are the worst team in the AFC East. Everything in the world is starting to be correct. Because fuck the Patriots. This is long overdue. They had 20 years of success. They can sit down at the bottom of the division now for the next 20. Mac Jones sucks.
I'll say this, man. First of all, before the comment goes, I want to read it. Matt said, Bill staying around to get his son into the team, in my opinion. Bro wants his son to get paid. Vegas over Pats. And I agree with Vegas over Pats, and I don't disagree with Bill wanting to stay around so that his son can continue to grow in the organization and work his way up the ranks. I just don't know that we're gonna find another Bill Belichick. So if you're like hoping, not you, but like if New England is hoping that Bill Belichick's son becomes like his father, no, just no. So real quick,
please do that. Please make
Kev,
that higher.
I don't think it's hitting the way it should as far as fuck the Pats, y'all are at the bottom of the division, ha ha, na boo boo. They're like right now it's just like bro, yeah, we did have 20 years, bro. We sure did, bro. And we do suck right now, like it is what it is. Mac Jones, though, I don't know if he's the worst quarterback in the AFC East. I'm standing on Zach Wilson being arguably the worst quarterback in the NFL. So, and Mac Jones is Mac Jones right there. But
that's crazy.
I'm not like to me. This would be the test. If you put Mac Jones on the 49ers, or if you put Zach Wilson on the 49ers, I think you find more success in the Mac Jones-led team than the Zach Wilson led 49ers
I
team.
think Kyle Shanahan would love a guy with Zach Wilson's skill set as his
I don't.
quarterback. I think Purdy is closer to Zach Wilson's skill set as far as being able to actually move with the football than Mac Jones is.
Yeah, I mean, there's the athleticism factor for sure, but decision making is just all time low.
Facts,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
I think
Mac
I
Jones
think
moved like a
Shanahan
Mac
can.
truck for real.
I think Shanahan can fix those types of things though, like
Could.
simplify the game for his quarterback, and which is what I think he does for Purdy. Like I think he's done a really good job of like helping him become as good as he is because he's started off simplifying things for him, and those things have allowed him to get more into a more complex offense.
Hey, they're laughing at the Mac truck comment. E. This is a cool topic about like again we got to get out of here. What time are we at, E? Just so I'm
We
aware.
are we're like an
We're like
hour 10
hour
in.
20. Jesus Christ! All right, hold on. So did Bill Belichick make Brady or did Brady make Belichick? And I know that's a topic that people talk about. Um, I say this, and I want to hear y'all thoughts on it. Personally, when two people come to work together to work at the same goal and they have the same desire and talent, it's a match made in heaven. It's a match made in heaven. Now, if I told you today that I got hired by the Patriots to study defense and come up with their game plans for the next 7 weeks, I would love to do that and I would be dedicated to that job, but I don't have the skill set for that, at least not yet. As much as I wanted to do it and as hard as I tried, you don't find a coach like Bill Belichick and you don't find a player like Tom Brady every day. We're not going to find that match in the NFL for some time again. I mean, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is close, with what they're doing, but Brady and Belichick understood that there is a way and there is also a ethic to this. And once and it wasn't Brady and Belichick, it was the Patriots. It was the Patriots because Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel, Willie McGinnis, Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law, Deion Branch, David Patton, all these type of guys, David Andrews on the line, like these are Hall of Fame players. The Patriots don't have one Hall of Famer or any Pro Bowler on their team right now. Of course, they're not going to look good. And of course, Bill Belichick can't just coach them up to be great. That doesn't make sense. This ain't basketball where you just try to ball out. No, you got 53 guys and all of them are mediocre. No disrespect. And I say that like at an NFL level mediocre, not as players literally, but
Do it for baby G.
you don't have the 2007 or the 2005 Patriots. And if you had the 2005 Patriots and Mac Jones was on that team, I do think they compete for the AFC East. Sorry. So I don't think Bill made Brady, Brady made Bill. I think that they both understood what they needed to do every single day, attacked it, and used their Hall of Fame skill sets to make it happen,
Yeah.
along with the help of their teammates. So
I think a lot of things in life just come down to, and I wouldn't say this is the only thing that they come down to, but it comes a lot like chance in a sense, because I mean we know Brady's story. He slipped all the way to whatever round. My man was. I love the story because my man say he's about to start revamping his resume to apply for jobs before the Patriots called. And I mean, you gotta remember, it wasn't until the Patriots' number one QB went down, and they're like, "All right, it's your turn, buddy." And he stepped up and was like, "I guess I'll just, I'll take what I've learned so far and take it to the next level and continue working, probably just as hard as I was working when I wasn't starting, to be honest, because it definitely looked like, he had some stumbles here and there, but when he stepped in, it was, it was go. It was, I mean, they were winning." So I don't think that either of them made each other. I think that, like you said, when two people come to work with the same vision, they know what it takes to get it done. That shit clicks. Who knows if Brady went to fucking, I don't know, it was a trash team back then. The Saints weren't really too good in
Cardinals.
01. The Cardinals. You know what I mean? Like what would have happened? But he ended up in New England, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you're welcome because Mo Lewis changed the course of history with that hit on Drew Bledsoe. So you're welcome, Patriots fans. The Jets got you that dynasty.
The Jets did it. Oh my fucking Christ! Listen, Matt asked, would Mac Jones perform the same if he was in Purdy's role? And I kind of breezed over that. I do think that Mac Jones would play pretty well. I don't know. I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. Like, I like Brock Purdy as a player.
30
I'm
Purdy.
not gonna act like Brock Purdy don't get sturdy. You know what I'm saying? On the mata. But to that same point, I think if you put Brock Purdy on this Patriots team, you would see a lot of struggle.
I can see that.
And that's just to be fair. Like, I'm not a Mac Jones fan. I don't dislike Mac Jones, but I don't think he's a great quarterback. There's nothing special about him, But I mean, yeah, his roster's like the makeup is bad. It's bad. The Patriots team is bad, and you can't expect Mac Jones to fix that. You can't expect Bill Belichick to fix that.
You can
expect Bill Belichick to have done more to prevent this, but
he also went through a season of having Matt Patricia call plays. So
and Joe Judge,
yeah. So that might fuck up anybody, having to deal with that situation there. But I mean, who knows? He might be like, this might be an audition. Maybe Josh McDaniels wants him back next year, because I don't think the Patriots are picking up that option. So
they shouldn't. They definitely shouldn't. And they should definitely try to lose the rest of the games this season so they can get Caleb Williams. And if they get Caleb Williams, Kevin, I apologize, my brother.
Yeah, but they're not. See, this is what I told my Patriots friends. I said, "Welcome to football hell." Well, where
not bad enough.
You are not bad enough to get the first round, the first overall. The Jets have had it one time in my life, and they got Keyshawn with it. So, like, the Jets have never. You're in football hell where you're never bad enough to get that first overall pick and get that franchise-changing player, but like you're still bad, so you're gonna get like the 4th, 5th, 6th pick. You'll be somewhere there, and you hope you hit on that pick. And usually you do if it's like a defender or something, but if it's like a quarterback, it's like hit or miss. Who knows?
The Chiefs had many 7-9s, and 8-8 seasons back in the day.
That's not even football hell, because you're still cheering for something in December. Like, football hell is like 5-12, because like 4-12 back then. Yeah, because like you're like, you don't have 2 wins, you don't have 3 wins.
Could have lost 2 games. Yeah, you could have just lost 2 more games by 1 score. You won each game by 2 points.
Yeah, so like you're a top 5 pick, but you're never number 1.
If you knew you were getting Caleb Williams, would you want to see your team go 0-16? That's got to be tough. That 0-16's got to be fucking rough. Remember when the Dolphins almost went 0-16, and we were we're
you
I'm
beat
not
the
even
Ravens.
a Dolphins fan, but when they won that game, bro, it was like I was happy, like my team just won a playoff game, bro.
What?
I felt like I ran out the house. I'm like,
it was against the Ravens. That's one of those games you never forget. It's one of those games you never forget.
But like, I don't know that I could do 0-16. And Matt is in the chat. He's still in the chat, by the way. Yo, you my guy, bro. I appreciate you rocking with us. But like, Dolphins fans have been in football purgatory and football hell for some time too, because they've just been so bad and embarrassing. However, not bad enough to where they're just pitiful. And you got to respect some of it, but
I mean, on top of that, if you go 0-16, you might not even be there to coach the kid that you want to get. But
no cap. You shouldn't be there, might I say. You shouldn't. I don't want no coach going 0-16 coaching a franchise quarterback. Get the fuck out of the city.
Fuck out of here, bro.
And nobody in the city hired this motherfucker for any type of job.
You're done. You're done.
So
you don't eat.
The Lions went 0-16 and then drafted Matthew Stafford, who, like, obviously great quarterback, but never helped Detroit.
Yeah, never helped Detroit.
Detroit never helped him, might I add. I mean, Calvin Johnson, fair. You got Megatron, but it didn't go.
Yeah,
It
that's
didn't go
about
for.
it.
Yeah, and for some reason, skill positions go to Detroit, and they're like, after 9, 10 years of playing football, they're like, oh, I don't want to do this no more.
Oh
Right.
shit. Yo, I don't have
Yo,
any.
EP.
Yeah, I don't have any EPL this weekend because we in international qualifiers this week. Um, and honestly, I don't watch international soccer
Hey, look,
unless.
it's all good.
So we don't got
No.
EP's EPL, but we do got we do got EP's NHL. Fucking hockey's
Ooh,
back, hockey's here. I'm
ooh.
actually the Golden Knights just scored their third goal to San Jose's one right now in the second period. It's ending right now. I'm live watching that right now. But hockey's back. Baseball's in its playoff form. Football's in, its peak right now, and life is great. Life is as it should be.
And the NBA will be back next week.
Yes, sir. Um, before we get out of here, last comment. You think Megatron ruined his career by staying there? It's a good question. I think no, no, because Megatron is a Hall of Famer with Matthew Stafford, and he might not be a Hall of Famer without Matthew Stafford. Not to say that he's
Oh,
not that good.
facts.
By the way, I caught a nosebleed, yo. I apologize, but I had to plug that up real quick. However, mid
Yo.
show is crazy. Uh, I, Matthew Stafford was the most willing quarterback, and if like he knew just throw it up, and not a lot of guys would have that confidence, even with Megatron on their team, even seeing what he can do. So I think Matthew Stafford deserves a lot of credit as far as why Megatron is a Hall of Famer.
Let's get it.
So cool. Yo, I appreciate everybody that watched, everybody that tapped in for a 5 second interval. Matt, my boy, was here for the last 40 minutes with us, maybe longer. If you tapped in on the live, if you like, if you subscribe, whatever the case is, bro, we appreciate you. We are here Monday and Thursday. Next Monday, hopefully, I'm in South Florida. I should be taking a trip to South Florida tomorrow. So we'll play it by ear as far as how we doing it. I'm trying to enjoy this vacation on some vacation shit so that when I get back and it's cold and it's wintertime, I could just grind and get back to it. But before anybody leaves, we do have some important news that we would love to share, and Kev would love to break to the All Things Sports family because y'all listen to y'all family, so we gotta let y'all in on some family business.
Yeah, so I just want to say real quick. So Saturday I will be. Julian knows this information. He doesn't yet know yet, but Saturday I will be finding out the gender of my first child. So Rachel is pregnant, and we will be finding out the gender on Saturday. So that's
Oh my
exciting news
god, this
for
motherfucker
us.
quit his job and had a kid. That's wild, bro.
Yo, I wish I had those
Congratulations,
balls.
bro.
Thank you,
Congratulations. That's
thank you, thank
beautiful.
you, thank you.
Hey,
Hell
if you
yeah.
don't got a job, what
Awesome.
else you supposed to be doing out here?
You know,
You
it's a
gotta
lot
be
more
working
free
something,
time.
dog. You gotta be working somewhere.
Yo, congratulations, bro. That's beautiful, man. For real,
Thank you,
that's
bro.
awesome.
I
That's
would send
awesome.
you the info on the. It's a quick little thing on Saturday, but I'll send you the info for it.
Hell
No
yeah.
doubt.
Shout out to Kev, shout out to Rachel, man. Shout out to baby blank. All right, we're gonna leave it at baby blank for now. All right. We don't know. So love.